Hey everybody, this is Avvalynna, and over the last couple of weeks I've been posting videos and a lot of people have been commenting me or inboxing me regarding my UI, and I thought I would just create a video and just point out which add-ons that I've used in order to create the UI that you see before you. I wanted something that was clean, that kind of left as much of the top screen as possible open, so I try to keep everything as low as possible, and adding a little bit of artwork to it kind of glitched it into place, which I really like. So I hope this gives you some information and maybe give you some ideas on how you could build your own UI. Now, the first thing I want to tell you is that the base of my UI is ElvUI. Now, ElvUI you can't necessarily download from Curse, but if you go to tukui.org, that's tukui.org, you should be able to find ElvUI and download that. It's very, very customizable. Pretty much it'll give you a base UI, and then from there you can pretty much organize it to however you want it to fit on your screen. It's kind of a look that I came up with right here by moving my mini map down to the middle and then kind of basing everything there. I found that my eyes were kind of dragging over to the top corner and taking my vision off basically what's going on in the middle of my screen, i.e. like a boss fight. So I figured that if I move my map down below, if I'm looking for something specific, it should be pretty much right there. After I downloaded ElvUI and played around with it, got it to this set, there's certain things that I actually want to place for. One of them would be my damage meter. In this case, I use SCADA. I do enjoy it a little better than Recount. It is a lot more customizable. I don't have to have everything running for it. I can only run meters that I want to run, which I always find was good. You know, of course, the less things you run, the better. Right above my mini map is actually Combustion Helper. Now, Combustion Helper is a great add-on for Mage. The way that it works, at least in this function right here, is it keeps track of your bombs. Keeps track of Living Bomb and Frost Bomb, not Nether Tempests though. But if you're using Frost Bomb or Living Bomb, it does have a duration that you want to make sure that you're casting for. So this will help you keep track of it. The other great thing is that if you are fire perhaps on your other spec or even on your main spec, Combustion Helper is a perfect tool for you. It'll help you keep track of all your dots, help you keep track of your Living Bomb as well. And you can even set it up so that, say for instance, you have an ignite tick well over 25k, it'll make a sound. Or perhaps if all your dots are rolling, you have a strong ignite tick over 25k, you have Living Bomb up, and it's a perfect scenario for combustion. It'll make a sound, it'll glow, and at that point it'll add that combustion dot onto it, and it's a great way to increase your DPS. I find that when I discuss with mages who are having DPS issues, that they're not actually using anything to track any of their dots. The minute they add Combustion Helper, they set it up for their playstyle, it works perfect. They usually will find a really, really good DPS increase. It does take a little bit, of course, to get used to it, especially if you're used to trying to play more instinctually. But using Combustion Helper, especially to track those particular items, overall will, in my opinion, make you definitely a better fire mage. But in the case since I am Frost, it'll help me keep track of those bombs perfectly. Now, the item that you see above my Combustion Helper is actually a weak ore. I use weak ores to track my buffs, debuffs, and anything pretty much that I want a timer for. It's a very lightweight add-on, and it actually replaces power ores. Now, I used to use power ores, but we find that, especially a lot of us find that weak ores has a lot more to it that power ores just doesn't offer. Now, the first thing you can see is pretty much evocation. If I hit this button right here, let's see, you can see that I'm basically evocating now. You can also see that there is a timer there. The timer basically will tick down to 1 second. The minute it's back off of cooldown, that icon for evocation will pop back up. Now, if I also go back into combat, you're going to notice that there are 4 other ores that basically pop up, and here they are. Now, with those 4 auras, you can see the first one is basically my frozen orb, then you have icy veins, then you have mirror images, and there you have my water elementals freeze. Now, if I do use them, which you can see right here, the minute I start using them, they're actually going to disappear to show me that they're actually and there you go. Now, the minute they start coming back off of cooldown, you're going to notice that the icons are basically going to appear again. In the corner, you can see that there is a timer that is actually a weak aura that I created for Alter Time. Wanted to make sure that, especially when I first started playing Mage and we had the new ability Alter Time, wanted to make sure basically I was trying to play it to the best of my ability. It's to remind me that certain criteria should be met in order to have a really good Alter Time. I don't really need it anymore. It's just something that's basically there. Now, with any of these weak auras that I basically have, if it is something that you would like to have yourself, I'm more than happy to supply my weak auras for you. Just inbox me with an email address and I'll be able to send you the string. If you download weak auras, there is an area that you can upload someone else's basic information for it, so that you can have these weak auras as well. You know, any questions or anything, I can try to see if I can find the answers for you too. I do have a wide network of people that kind of set up all different types of weak auras. And of course, you can find a lot of them that are posted on the different sites that people do like to share some of their work too. But my auras are pretty basic, but I do like them. The evocation one is a really, really good one. It is 2 auras put together. The other thing I'm basically going to do soon is do auras for my trinkets and my procs. I want to, you know, of course, start really trying to line up some of my my larger DPS abilities with my trinkets to push out my DPS. My main focus right now pretty much is learning the fights and getting bosses down, getting shinies and lots of loot. And then afterwards, as they're kind of on farm content, to really focus on doing those of ranking, because of course, who doesn't love to rank? So some of the other things that you don't necessarily see right now is pretty much like I use DBM. DBM, of course, is going to be a little bit hard to show you where my DBM timers are without actually being in raid. I'll try to cut and, well, splice, I guess you can say, a raiding video so I can actually show you what that looks like when we're in combat.
The quills happen every minute. It's mixy, so you can use your hammer for everyone.
You know, I just realized now if you look around my mini-map, you're going to see a couple other things too. One of them is actually going to be a Mage Nuggets. Now, I do use Mage Nuggets. Mage Nuggets is another good add-on for mages, helps you maintain your, keeps track of your cooldowns and everything. I basically use it for the button for portals. And actually you can see that right here, which I'll show you. Now if you look in the corner of my screen right now, you'll see that I have my buttons up here. These are all the different portals and ports that I can basically make. I also use Mage Nuggets. It plays Time Warp when you Time Warp, which again, I will show you. Which is really, really fun. I don't know if you can basically hear that right now.
It's just a jump to the left.
What's basically really funny is that if you do have a druid, and at one point, you know, they popped tree ants. When they did pop their additional tree ants, it actually used to play the A-Team theme song, which I thought was pretty amusing. Took me a while to figure out what add-on was making it, and then I realized actually Mage Nuggets was. Mage Nuggets can be used for mages, druids. I think it even does something for priests as well. But pretty much for me, it's going to be Cauterize Tracker. It's pretty much for portals and Time Warp, and I think that's pretty much what I end up using it. They do have like a stat monitor you can use, and you know, there is a way that you can track your bomb with that too. But again, I use Combustion Helper. The problem is with some add-ons is that they add a lot of stuff that you really want, but another add-on might do it a little bit better. So you kind of have to, you know, pick and choose and figure out which works best for you. The other thing down here too is I do have Atlas loot. I do have a SCADA button, and then I also use Mogget because, come on, who doesn't like to dress your Barbie? Well, that's my UI in a nutshell. Thanks for watching. Hope that it answered some questions, as well as maybe you learned something. Just keep in mind that there are a lot of different options out there, you know, and you really have to find out what basically works for you. I mean, there's so many options, so many things that can be class specific, so many things that are cross class specific as well. Feel free to play around with it, and again, find out what works for you. But don't feel pressured in changing your UI. There are plenty of people who are purists and decide, you know, the regular Blizz UI is just the right way to go. Again, any questions, inbox me. Look forward to making some more videos. If you want to see me raid, you can see me raid Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 p.m. on my Twitch channel, which is basically www.twitch.tv/Avvalynna. Thanks again, and see you later.